These terrifying sea serpent encounters caught on video will send a chill down your spine. The Gulf of Mexico giant sea serpent, a research vessel in the Gulf of Mexico, lowered cameras into the deep expecting to record ordinary marine life. What appeared instead looked like a creature straight from legend. A massive silver body swam across the screen, rippling and coiling in the water. Its movements weren't the quick, darting motions of a fish. Instead, it seemed to glide with the same elegance people have described in sea serpent legends for centuries. Slow arcs, hypnotic curves, a body that seemed to go on forever. Now, scientists would later call it an oarfish, one of the longest bony fish in the world, but the sheer size and appearance left viewers unsettled. It looked like a serpent uncoiling through the darkness, a kind of living ribbon that blurred the line between fact and folklore. Some reports estimate this particular specimen stretched over 20 feet. Its reflective scales caught the light like polished metal, and at moments it looked like the spine of a dragon drifting silently in the abyss. Even marine biologists admitted that, it's easy to see how such a sight, viewed by sailors in the past, would become the foundation for countless serpent tales. The doomsday fish of California. Now, in 2024, kayakers off La Jolla, California, came across something chilling. A massive pale body floating on the surface. Now, at first glance, it resembled a sea serpent corpse. It stretched nearly 12 feet long, its skin silvery and ghost-like with jagged red spines jutting upward like warning signals. It's honestly quite ugly and not something I'd, be thrilled to stumble upon. Now, marine experts later identified the body as an oarfish, but that didn't erase the unease. Now, in Japanese lore, oarfish are called messengers of the sea god and are believed to surface before natural disasters like earthquakes and tsunamis. This gave the discovery a very dark, prophetic kind of undertone. Now, if the Japanese created, the doomsday fish lore 400 years ago, and in recent history we have an event matching a 400-year-old myth, I'd say there's a correlation regardless of some studies. Now, since the oarfish is a deep water fish, it is affected by, seismic activity before us on land, and it's probably much more sensitive to it. So it's not a stretch to say it probably panics and gets as far as possible from, it would kind of be at shore. Now, apparently also though, about 20 oarfish washed up ashore before the 2011 earthquake, which unalived over 20,000 people. So come on, man. I don't know, a little coincidental. Anyway, the body drifted kind of lifelessly, its elongated form swaying in the current, looking like a serpent ripped out of a nightmare. It ended up washed up ashore, and that's when they captured clear footage of it, which is what you're looking at now. Now, the fact that it washed ashore near one of the busiest beaches in California made the encounter all the more terrifying. Beachgoers were forced to ask themselves if they had just stared at the corpse of a sea monster or something far more ominous. The Cadborosaurus of the Pacific Northwest. For over a century, fishermen and sailors off British Columbia and Washington State have told stories of a sea serpent known as the Cadborosaurus, or also known as Caddy. Now, the reports are unnervingly consistent. Witnesses describe a long, snake-like body, a horse-shaped head, and vertical humps rolling along the surface like a series of giant coils. In one account, a whaling crew swore they saw the creature raise its neck above the water like a periscope, kind of turn its head as if studying them. Then, it's kind of sunk beneath the waves with a wake so powerful it kind of rocked their ship, allegedly. Another sighting involved a group of ferry passengers who collectively described a dark kind of form crossing the bay in broad daylight. Now, unfortunately, there's no live footage of these few accounts, but the stories are there and old photos to show you as well, so you get the idea. Now, the legend has persisted because so many independent accounts describe the same features, the arched neck, the humps, the speed, and the almost reptilian kind of profile of the head. Several alleged video clips also claim to show Caddy surfacing, but whether the creature is real or just misidentifications of seals, eels, or even basking sharks, the lore remains one of Pacific Northwest's creepiest mysteries. The 10-foot water serpent of China. Now, a video filmed in China shows something gliding through the water that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who saw it. The creature's body stretched close to 20 feet, slender and snake-like, moving with a smooth, kind of coordinated rhythm that clearly suggested it was alive. What unsettled viewers most was the speed. Unlike logs or drifting debris, this thing swam with intent, darting just below the surface and twisting in arcs with a boat clearly right on top of it, which is terrifying. terrifying. Its form appeared too uniform for an eel and too long for a snake. Now, online debates exploded, of course. Was it a giant eel, a titanoboa maybe, a python swept downstream, or an unknown aquatic serpent? Some experts kind of leaned towards a large eel, but the way the body moved, flexible yet powerful, kind of struck others as proof that we may be looking at a genuine sea serpent caught on video. The Alaskan snake monster. Now, in the frigid waters of Alaska, researchers lowered cameras to study fish populations. Now, instead, the footage captured something that looked more like a living nightmare. A very long kind of figure slithered through the deep, its body weaving in hypnotic waves, illuminated only by the faint light of whoever was filming it, likely their flash, something, maybe a flashlight. Now, what's disturbing is how smooth and continuous the body appears. Unlike a school of fish or a drifting rope, this thing moved as one complete organism. Witnesses described it as a ribbon of muscle cutting silently through the abyss, seemingly endless in length. Now, one expert said it looked to be about 20 feet long, although that's just the visible part, and he said it sent a shiver down his spine. Of course, once the video was posted online, people had their own opinions of what it could be. I mean, one person in the comments section said, it's not a snake or any sea creature, it's debris moving, or being moved by the current flowing downriver. They said, you can clearly see spaces between each patch of ice that are clear. It's all being held by dirt or grass that's kind of attached, by a strong strand. Interesting take for sure, and not ruled out, but some suggest it was another oarfish. But others have argued as well it looked far too flexible, too serpent-like. For those who believe in sea monsters, others said it simply looked like a log kind of chained together, covered with ice and gunk. Either way, this is one of the most compelling modern pieces of evidence, an actual video that shows something large, serpentine kind of like, and unexplainable lurking in the icy waters of the north. What do you think? The Morgwar of Cornwall. Morgwar is a legendary Cornish sea serpent described as a long humpback or long-necked creature with sightings occurring in Falmouth Bay and surrounding waters, notably from the late 19th century onwards, with an explosion though of sightings in the mid-1970s. Sightings are kind of concentrated near the mouth of the Helford River, known as Morgwar's Mile. Sightings were reported in White Sand Bay in 1934 and near Port Isaac in 1935, with one reliable witness describing a large head, goose-like neck, and a humpbacked body. So it's been around for quite some time, with lots of different encounters. Now, off the coast of Cornwall, fishermen in the 1970s began reporting a terrifying creature they named Morgwar, which actually just means sea giant. They described a massive crocodile-headed serpent with dark scales along neck and a powerful thrashing tail. Some photos surfaced showing a serpentine shape, in the waves. Now, the mid-1970s saw the biggest surge in reports, with the Falmouth Packet newspaper publishing photos of the creature in 1976, taken by a woman known as Mary F., sparking widespread kind of Morgwar mania. Now, in recent times, going back to 2020, one local resident captured video footage of what he thought could possibly be the Morgwar. He posted it online and asked the audience what they thought, with most people saying it could be seals all traveling together, because apparently, Morgwar serpents would never be so close to the surface. So whether a hoax or the truth, the stories continue, and even today, locals speak of, this Morgwar as if it still kind of prowls their waters. So from mysterious carcasses and viral videos to century-old legends, sea serpents continue to haunt our imagination and sometimes our cameras. Maybe they're rare deep-sea creatures surfacing by accident, maybe they're misidentified animals, or maybe, just maybe, there really are monsters beneath the waves that science has yet to uncover. Let me know what you think or believe though. Thanks for watching. I'm your host, Ashley. See you later.